Hello, I'm Adrian and I have a small group of Vincennes and Sèvres porcelain in front of me today. And these are pieces some of which I've seen in the past and some I'd never seen until just a few days ago. They, like all 18th century porcelains, all historic works of art, have belonged to someone else in the past. And these pieces have just come to me and are for sale because the collector who bought them over the last dozen or so years sadly died earlier this year. A really lovely man called Johannes Lafrenz, who was from Munich in Germany. And he had very interesting taste. He collected what was available, which is the only way to go really with historic works of art, but collected really choice pieces. And this is just a group of the earlier pieces. There are plenty more in the collection, which I'll be revealing gradually. And I chose these today because it shows how we have pieces from when the factory was at Vincennes before it moved to Sèvres. In 1756 it moved, so it has two names, and a piece that seems fairly normal as a teapot, actually. Fabulous gilding around the spout as well, but also with this monochrome blue painting, but with a rarity of having flesh tones to the putty. And the putty are taken from engravings probably by François Boucher. Again, here we have a piece with pink monochrome putty and trophies, but these are also taken from the work of François Boucher. His engravings came to the factory and different painters used them. This is from Vincennes in 1755. It has its date letter B. A slightly later Sèvres piece from about 1760-61. And here a lovely green ground piece, date letter E, and the painter's mark of Taillandier. And this seems to be a popular pattern at the moment. It was also made in turquoise blue, and a cup and saucer sold at auction in London a few days ago for much more than we were all expecting of this pattern in turquoise blue. So there must be a couple of people who like that pattern out there. That's a piece I sold to the collector a few years ago, and so it's an old friend who's come back. And those of you who know the subject may be thinking, what about a piece of bleu celeste, the turquoise blue ground colour? So here we have in this box a leather box which is original from the 1750s. No coat of arms, so we don't know who it belonged to. They sometimes would have a coat of arms, and a lot of these boxes are not as old as some people think, but this is, I think, genuinely an old one, and inside a fabulous 1757 cup and saucer by the painter Morin. It's got his marks, it's got fabulous painting. And while I've been sitting here, I just noticed that one of the scenes on the saucer amongst this fabulous gilding is actually the same scene taken from the same engraving by Boucher, interpreted by different painters, as on these two pieces. And a nice link, which I'm sure the German collector who owned these until recently would have noticed. He was very thorough. So this is quite a special piece with all these reserves and fabulous gilding on it. And I'm really proud and pleased to be entrusted with the sale of a lot of this collection, which I'll be showing over the next few months gradually.